Hello and welcome to my channel. So I'm starting this channel and this is basically the first video in my YouTube channel, and we will quickly understand like what is the objective behind this channel and why I'm actually creating this channel. So guys, इस channel के objectives is very simple and very clear. So first thing is that we are going to cover all the end-to-end data engineering tutorials. बेसिकली जो भी कॉन्सेप्ट्स हम सीखेंगे इस पर्टिकुलर चैनल के ऊपर, आई एम गोइंग टू कवर ईच एंड एवरीथिंग with a crystal clear explanation, whether it is SQL or Python or Spark or any other big data tools. Whatever we are going to learn, we are going to cover each and everything in details, and I'll just give you a very brief and crystal clear explanation. Also, we are going to do a lot of good projects, और वो प्रोजेक्ट्स ऐसे होंगे जो आप अपने CV पे भी डाल सकते हो, and that will be a good enough to be considered for your interviews. And the third objective I would like to say is to avoid a tutorial hell. So guys, I have seen this problem among a lot of students that वो let's say basically वो start करते हैं that they want to switch their career in data engineering role, and they start watching YouTube tutorials in data engineering for data engineering, and later on they actually forget their objective and they keep on actually different channels पे जाके different YouTube videos, they keep on watching n number of videos, but they are actually not preparing for what actually they have started for. So in this video what we are going to do is that I will help you to how to avoid tutorial hells, that you should first of all stick to one YouTube channel. आप कोई भी एक particular channel को उठाओ and start looking at those tutorials, understand the basics, understand the syntax, आप एक अच्छा project करो and then move on to the next tool. So we don't have to do PhD on a subject here. We are actually here for getting a job maybe in down the line in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months or 6 months, जो भी आपका road map है उस हिसाब से. That should be our focus on this channel. And finally, I will also help you to prepare for interviews. So we are going to do a lot of questions which has been asked in interviews, and we are going to look into it, and I will also help you to understand what kind of profile actually interviewers is looking for, and interview mein what kind of questions you should expect. So let me introduce myself. So my name is Manish, and I have been working as a data analyst, as a senior data analyst, approximately 7.5 years. I have worked for several companies and clients, and I have actually worked on a lot of different tools. Maybe I can tell you that SQL, Python, Power BI, Tableau. So I have been working with Spark and big data tools like Databricks, and Azure services पे भी काम करा है मैंने, जैसे Azure Data Factory है, Azure Synapse Analytics है, these kind of tools. And orchestration I have also worked on Airflow, Apache Airflow. So this is about me, and so I will be creating different playlists, and I think that if you start preparing for data engineering, the first and the foremost thing that you should focus on your SQL queries. So SQL queries is also not enough for data engineers, because अगर आप data analyst के profile के लिए जा रहे हो या फिर data scientist के profile के लिए जा रहे हो, so they are actually looking for that whether you can fetch data from the database or not, and by writing complex SQL queries. But data engineering के profile में just writing SQL queries is not enough. You have to go beyond writing SQL queries. आपको database के basics समझ में आने चाहिए, आपके basics database concepts like how actually the database engine works, और आपको you have to understand the other optimization techniques and how you should do a performance tuning. ये सारी चीज़ें भी बहुत important role play करती है if you are going for a data engineering profile. So that is what our first playlist will be, guys. So first playlist में हम end to end देखेंगे database के सारे concepts, I will start from very basic, that what is database. And this will be like a playlist for everyone. अगर आप डेटा एनालिस्ट हो या डेटा इंजीनियर हो या डेटा साइंटिस्ट हो, आप जो भी, अगर आप you are actually working with data, so this playlist is for you. And at the same time, agar aap beginner ho, you don't have any idea about data or anything, so this is also for you as well, because I'll be starting from very basic topic, which is what is database. उसके बाद फिर हम धीरे धीरे अपने कॉन्सेप्ट्स बिल्ड अप करेंगे, एंड आई विल टेक यू टू दैट लेवल वेयर यू कैन एक्चुअली स्टार्ट क्रैकिंग इंटरव्यूज़. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विथ आवर फर्स्ट प्लेलिस्ट, विच इज़ एंड टू एंड डेटा base concepts for any data professional. So let's take you to that. I have already created a very beautiful playlist, and this playlist will be divided into 6 modules. Basically I will wrap up the complete 6 modules probably in 2 to 3 videos, and each video length will be somewhere around one and a half or 2 hours, maybe, probably. That is what I am planning. Let's see. So let's see what we are going to cover in this particular playlist, which is SQL for data professionals. So as I have told you, I'll start with the very basic, which is introduction. Introduction में हम क्या क्या सीखेंगे? हम सबसे पहले ये समझेंगे कि databases actually हैं क्या, and उसके types कितने हैं. जैसे हम बात करते हैं DBMS की and RDBMS की, and people also talk about NoSQL. So I will help you understand what is exactly the difference between these 3 kind of databases. उसके बाद हम ये समझेंगे that databases का role क्या है in the life of a data engineer or a data analyst or a data scientist. उसके बाद हम देखेंगे basically databases 2 टाइप के होते हैं. First is OLTP and then OLAP systems. ये 2 ही systems होते हैं. We will understand what are these systems and what's the difference between these systems, and then finally we will understand what's the difference between a relational and a non-relational database. Module 2 में we will start with relational database basic concepts, and we'll start with our SQL foundations. So basically in module 2, the first thing that we'll understand is the basic table structure, like rows and columns, how the data is arranged in rows and columns. Then what are the different keys and constraints that we create while actually creating a table. Then we will see some of these syntaxes, like अगर आपको database create करना है या tables create करने हैं, या फिर आपको insert करना है data एक particular table में, या फिर आपको एक table में data update करना हो, then what are the different syntax for that. We will see that as well. However, this is not very important from the perspective of a data analyst or data scientist also. I think data engineers actually work with this, because data engineers, they actually push data in the warehouse. So for them, these topics are important. That is the reason why I put it. But for data analyst और डेटा साइंटिस्ट, दीज आर नॉट दैट इम्पॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि आपको सिर्फ डेटा फेच करना होता है. दैट्स द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग फॉर डेटा एनालिस्ट एंड डेटा साइंटिस्ट. And you basically don't create tables and update tables and insert data in the tables, being a data analyst or a data scientist. These tasks is basically being performed by data engineer most of the time. Then we will start looking into our first clause, which is the select clause. Then we will see where clause. Where clause is how actually it works in filtering our data. फिर order by clause देखेंगे, what is limit, distinct, in, between, like, I like, these keywords that we will see in details. Don't worry guys, I will actually make this concepts very very clear to you, because I actually follow a philosophy, and this actually helps me a lot to actually learn new skills. So basically what I follow is that अगर आप किसी भी पर्टिकुलर कॉन्सेप्ट को पढ़ रहे हो, एंड इफ़ यू वांट दैट कि आप उसको कभी ना भूलो, एंड यू शुड ऑलवेज रिमेंबर इट, एंड तो आप ट्राई करो उस कॉन्सेप्ट को कनेक्ट करने का टू अ रियल वर्ल्ड प्रॉब्लम और अ रियल वर्ल्ड सिनेरियो. अगर आप कनेक्ट कर पाते हो एक पर्टिकुलर कॉन्सेप्ट को विद अ रियल वर्ल्ड सिनेरियो, देन वो कॉन्सेप्ट आपके ब्रेन में एकदम बिल्कुल अच्छी तरीके से फिट हो जाता है, और वो फिर आप कभी नहीं भूलोगे. एंड वट एवर द डिफरेंट सिनेरियोज दैट यू विल फेस, यू विल बी एबल टू अप्लाई दैट कॉन्सेप्ट वेरी वेरी वेल. So I will help you to actually connect the concepts. That is actually my teaching style also guys, that I generally don't read definitions. Like एक particular definition पढ़ के we are not going to do that. Basically हम जो भी concept सीखेंगे I'll just take you to that root level or the grassroots level, and will connect with a real world example, and then you will see that it is actually making sense. And when you start making sense and will start connecting with real world, then you are not going to forget it. Okay. एंड देन उसके बाद फिर हम कुछ different functions देखेंगे, like group by clause, having clause. Then these are the aggregate functions, like 5 aggregate functions: count, sum, average, min and max. And then we will see how we join different tables. इसमें हम 4 different joins देखेंगे, which is inner, left, right and full. Finally, in the third module, we are going to discuss about the intermediate SQL. See, in databases guys, SQL is actually very important, because अगर आप डेटा इंजीनियरिंग या फिर किसी भी डेटा इंटरव्यूज़ में जाते हो तो वो आपसे SQL क्वेरीज पूछेंगे ही पूछेंगे. It's basically one of the most basic requirements. So that is why I actually have created 2 sections specially for SQL queries. So in the third module, we will actually look into the intermediate SQL queries, which is like we'll talk about the set operations. Set operations में हम देखेंगे union, intersect, excepts, ये सारे keywords कैसे काम करते हैं. Then we'll see the most important, one of the most favorite, I will say, the topic of interview in the interviews, Windows functions. Windows functions से questions you can expect 100% most of the time. अगर आप स्पेशली अगर आप डेटा इंजीनियरिंग के प्रोफाइल में जा रहे हो, विंडोज़ फंक्शंस के क्वेश्चंस होंगे ही होंगे. आई वुड नॉट से डेटा एनालिस्ट प्रोफाइल में होंगे, बट इफ़ यू आर गोइंग फॉर अ सीनियर डेटा एनालिस्ट प्रोफाइल, देन यू कैन एक्सपेक्ट विंडोज़ फंक्शन. सेम डेटा साइंटिस्ट प्रोफाइल में भी वो पूछते हैं ही है. एक क्वेश्चन यू विल एक्सपेक्ट फ्रॉम विंडोज़ फंक्शन. देन कॉमन टेबल एक्सप्रेशंस वी विल सी, case statement we will see, and then we will see how to work with time and dates. And then finally we will close this module with stored procedure, SQL views, and CTAS. CTAS is basically create table as select, and then temporary tables. Then we'll move to module 4. Module 4 में हम बात करेंगे डेटा मॉडलिंग की एंड स्कीमा डिज़ाइन की. इसमें हम सबसे पहले हम बात करेंगे ER डिज़ाइन की, विच इज़ बेसिकली नथिंग बट द एंटिटी रिलेशनशिप डायग्राम एंड नॉर्मलाइजेशन एंड डी नॉर्मलाइजेशन. नॉर्मलाइजेशन बेसिकली फर्स्ट नॉर्मल फॉर्म, सेकंड नॉर्मल फॉर्म, थर्ड नॉर्मल फॉर्म एंड BCNF. Then we'll talk about denormalization, why it is required, when we do it. We will also discuss that. And also guys, these 3 parts is basically something which is being actually handled by database administrator, database admin, or a data architect. So from the data engineering or data analyst or data science point of view, these 3 topics are not that important, but we'll still learn about it. We should have a basic understanding of this modeling part. The most important thing is the schema design, that the schema design that data engineers do in the gold layer. We'll talk about that gold, what is silver, bronze, silver, gold layer also when we are doing data warehousing. इसके बाद probably I will bring a new playlist for data warehousing also. तो उसमें हम बात करेंगे कि डिफरेंट डेटा आर्किटेक्चर, डेटा वेयर हाउसिंग के डिफरेंट मॉडलिंग टेक्निक्स क्या होते हैं. सो उसमें देर वी आर टॉक अबाउट स्टार स्कीमा एंड स्नोफ्लेक स्कीमा इन डिटेल्स. सो डोंट वरी अबाउट इट, आई विल एक्सप्लेन एवरीथिंग इन डिटेल्स. Then finally, this is advanced SQL part guys, and performance optimization. This is actually one of the most important topic which you actually if you are looking for a senior data engineering profile, तो ये बहुत important topic होता है, जिसमें query explanation, I mean query execution plans. Basically अगर आपको एक particular queries को optimize करना है, then you should first understand that where you are facing that bottleneck. Query कहाँ पे slow हो रही है. So explain, analyze. That will help you to optimize your queries. Then optimization, joins and subqueries. Joins is one of the most expensive operation, I will say. अगर आप बहुत बड़े tables को join कर रहे हो तो that's an expensive operation. तो joins में भी हमारे पास बहुत सारे optimization techniques होती हैं जिसको use करके आप अपनी queries को optimize कर सकते हो. Indexing strategies is basically being used when you are trying to filter a very big data. वहाँ पे indexing बहुत use होता है. Then handling large tables. If you are working with a very large table and if you want that your query execution is fast, तो हम उस केस में क्या करते हैं, हम डेटा को पार्टीशन करके स्टोर करते हैं so that our lookup will be very fast. that is also we'll understand. Then transaction and ACID properties, ये भी हम समझेंगे guys what these concepts are. Deadlocks, concurrency controls, isolation levels, with these are the topics that we are also going to see. And then finally we will close this particular playlist with database internals. Basically we will try to understand कि database actually work कैसे करता है under the hood. So I mean what I mean to say is जब आप एक SQL query लिखते हो तो SQL query engine, database engine, how it interprets this particular query, and how it executes it, and all those things that we are going to see under the hood, where we are going to see storage engines, write ahead logging, WOL, buffer pools and caching, checkpoint in recoveries. I know this terminologies right now is not making much sense for you all. If you are someone who has already worked as a data engineer or a senior data engineer, then I think you should be aware about these particular things. But don't worry if you are someone who are actually beginner and don't understand. I'll make this concept very clear for you. So yeah, so that's it guys for this video, and from the next video we will start with our first module, which is introduction. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you for watching, and if you like my video, please consider subscribing and please hit like button. Thank you.